I parked my car here in the Clent Hills country park on the outskirts of Birmingham in the West Midlands. I parked my car in this car park here, and it's about a 3.5-hour drive from to get here from where I live. I'm about 100 yards. There's High Harcourt Farm, a working farm on the outskirts of Birmingham, and this is a pass, St. Hills Pass. Okay, there, Clent Hills, signpost there, turn left here. I'll just call in, just briefly into the visitor centre to see what it looks like. On the outskirts of Birmingham, you get the Range Rover driving class living here. That garden seems to have fallen into, well, yeah, not quite as nice as it was, as it used to be when I used to live here. Here's the visitor centre. It's a National Trust car park here. This is a map of the area we're in. It doesn't show mine. Well, it does show from where we are now, the visitor centre car park. I just come from there, St. Hills Pass, and over there is Clent Village. Many people are walking today. They're all just, well, today for sitting in the shade if possible. Not a good sign. I struggled a bit to get over that stile, which shows it's not very well trodden, but there's a, well, semblance of a trodden path down here. Now in the distance, unfortunately it's about 80 degrees today, and we're in the middle of a heat wave in this country, an early September heat wave, and of course that brings a heat haze. So the visibility, unfortunately, you could just about see Birmingham University clock tower over there, maybe 10 miles away. But there's the black country there. Okay, so I'm going to go downhill, which unfortunately means I've got to climb back up again a little bit later on. Yeah, gone down that stretch of downhill there, and this is countryside that you see. Well, this is actually outside the Clent Hills Country Park, I think. But luckily I have got a signal on my mobile phone, so I think this is the path that I want to take, but I'm not sure. So far so good. Footpath signs there. And I'm in a little bit of shade here, which is, well, it's going to be useful to have a little bit of shade on a day like today. Crossed another stile, which it goes over an electrified fence. So let's see, where's the footpath? There's a sign of how warm it is today. The horses and ponies are taking advantage of the shade. Now, hidden away inside the other side of that hawthorn hedge, high hawthorn, is an old church. St. Hills Church. I just climb over these gates. That's always worrying. Remove all valuables from your vehicle. So let's go and have a look at this church. Okay, look, nice tree. Yeah. These churchyards are kind of like, they allow the trees to, well, especially yew trees, yeah, to grow to, well, some of them are over 1,000 years old. Oh, that's nice, going into this shade. Yeah, it's not really a walking day because people aren't used to the heat in this country. There's an extensive graveyard here around this, it's only a small church. St. Hills, you can look him up on Google, legendary Anglo-Saxon, well, he belonged to a royal family, Anglo-Saxon family, but apparently he was murdered, and holy wells sprang up in that location where he was murdered. There it is. I like that tower there. Old sandstone church. Yeah, that's a sign of the times right there. All these churches these days are locked. Yeah, now there is well, it may be overgrown, but I won't bother to go and see it. But there's a so-called holy well just down here. Okay, this is where the tough part of this walk begins. Mind you, I can feel a slight breeze. So I've got about a climb now of about, I think, close to 300 feet ascent to get to the top of Walton Hill. Proof positive this is farm country around here on the outskirts of Birmingham. I could have taken a shortcut. There's a little church there. Yeah. What do you call that? It's not a porch. What's something else, eh? Yeah, a statue of St. Kenelm himself, I think. Okay, here I begin a trek across this open field in this well, very warm sunshine. As I mentioned, no wind to speak of, and about 80 degrees air temperature. This isn't a day I'd choose to go walking, unless they're very easy walking, short walks. But I did plan this trip out a few weeks ago, and it just so happened there was a time slot this week to come down here. Dual uphill climb across that field. Not too bad as far as the climbing goes, but so far so good. Obviously I'm sweating a lot. Yeah, so on road walking and more or less in the shade. I have a car park just along here, just round the corner, and I'm hoping there's a refreshment truck there. I do have a ½ litre of water in the back, but I'm saving that, keeping that in reserve. The car park for the main footpath that goes to the top of Walton Hill. But so far I've been the only walker. Everyone else comes out and just kind of like, well, I haven't seen any walkers yet. No refreshment trucks, so carry on. Yeah, well trodden this path is to the summit of Walton Hill. But no walkers. Taking the gradual ascent, there's a steeper path which is shorter that also goes from the car park. Okay, I'll have a short break here in this handy shelter right here in memory of is that Bill Docker from Hales Owen Scout Association. Yeah, alright, so let's have a short break here. Okay, I reached the, you could call it the summit ridge. The summit ridge of Walton Hill. You can see a bit of Clent Hill over the other side of the valley. No walkers around at all. Saw my first walkers, dog walkers. Alright, that's where the alternative ascent route comes. It's a steeper ascent but shorter. Okay, of course there's no shade on this, but really very few people around, even though people aren't used to the heat in this country, as I already have said. But you can see how wide this footpath is. and how well trodden it is, how many people do come up here. Okay, this is the this is the summit of Walton Hill, marked by a trig stone. It's 1,016 feet above sea level. It's the highest point, I believe, as far as I can see, in a vast area of land. If you take a line striking due east to the coast, and then another line going south, due south to the south coast, all the area in between, this is the highest point. A nice little, well, piece of, I don't know if you can call it useful information. There's a patch of grassland there, marking the summit. And it's all descent now, down to Clent village, where I'm hoping there will be a tea shop open. All these tall, flowering, well, kind of weeds I suppose, but they're abundant in this time of year, but I think they're coming to an end now, the flowering part. I think they're called willow herbs. I was told that in the comments section. I didn't quite know what they were called. I think willow herbs is what they're called, I believe. Now, once I've dropped the 500 feet down to the village of Clent, then I've got to, well, I plan to, put it that way, plan to ascend that hill across the way there, Clent Hill. So I've got to, like that kind of British general, march his troops to the top of the hill, and then back down again. Well, yeah. Now, these footpaths haven't changed much over the years. I mean, I first started exploring these hills, these particular, well, all around the countryside on the outskirts of Birmingham, from the age of 10 onwards. I used to go, well, exploring. Yeah, great fun. There is the little village of Walton Pool, I think it's called, Walton Pool. You can walk on footpaths down to that village also, and then onwards to Clent. But I'm taking the direct route here. Descent because it's well, mainly shaded from the hot sun, but actually the sun is seems to be getting I don't know if there's a haze or just I can't see any clouds up there. It doesn't seem to be quite so strong as it was earlier on. In my descent down to the village of Clent, and there's the Vine pub down there. If there's no tea shop open in by the church there, Clent Church, I'll have to walk back up to the pub there and have refreshment. Yeah, those are the Aberley Hills. It's I say it's hazy today, so you can't see the well, you can on a real clear day you can see. Well, I can just see a bit of the Clent Hills as well in the distance. But on a real clear day you can see the Black Mountains in South Wales. Completed the roughly 500-foot descent down to the village of Clent, and here's the Clent Parish. I always like this church. I don't think it's got too much history attached to it, but it's a typical sandstone village church. And there's the extensive, well, that's the yeah, extensive graveyard. Okay, well, look at these nice houses in this little village of Clent. It doesn't look like anything's open in the way of refreshments. Look at that. I think it was an old schoolhouse at one time. Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it, licensed restaurant, but it doesn't look like it's open. So there's the village. Look at that classic picture. That is 3:05. I just have a quick walk around the church. well, it's almost certainly locked. Substantial church tower. Okay, let's just walk around it. Yeah, it's open. I think the locals, of course, keep an eye on things. It's, yeah, that's nice. Pipe organ. It's the first time I've been in this church. And the nice thing about it today, these churches, for some reason or other, the temperature drops about 20 degrees when you're inside. So this is the place to cool down. So I'm not sure how much there is in the way of history to this church, but it's certainly a nice church. And normally many of the churches date back to Norman times, but I'm not sure how far this goes back. Probably was a church on this site back then to baptise newly born entrance into this world. And there's a little children's area there. Yeah, so it's not just a brief visit. I just put a small donation in there to show my appreciation. Yeah, beautiful here. Okay, so doesn't look like there's anything tea shop open in the village itself, so I'll just walk up the road to an ale house and have a refreshment there. I planned to go up there. There's a footpath. I think you begin your ascent of Clent Hill back there. That's going to be it's going to be warm work, but so far I'm okay. There's the local pub, the Vine Inn. Yeah, someone's sitting out there. They're doing, they're having a pint. I'll have a cup of tea if one's available. That's a bummer. The Vine's shut. Closed about 20 minutes ago. So where's the backup plan? Okay, so I'll try. I'll have to extend the walk, change the route a bit, and add a maybe extra half mile. There's the Vine pub back there, and look at these nice little cottages here, church cottages. See what this placard says. Almshouses built for the poor, circa 1800. Clent village, and I'll carry on going here and try my luck in the next little village. It's not too far, just down here. Bull House, originally a charity school and master's house, 1705 to 1974, founded by John Amphlin. I think he was an important person in this at one time in this area. The size of that tree there. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a long, hard struggle to. There's no refreshment to get back up to back to the car. Coming into the hamlet really of Adams Hill. It's There's parking there, and there's also a pub. Hopefully that's not closed. Otherwise I might have to just knock on someone's door and ask for a water bottle to be refilled. This is the village of Adams Hill, up here. At one time I was thinking of buying that end terrace there. It was up for sale, but well, it'd be pretty noisy here on the weekend. Right now it's very quiet. Lots of people come here. It's the other pub, but that's closed permanently. And the restaurant that's attached to it, well, there's another one down there. They're both shut at the moment. Oh, there is a walker, but he's coming downhill. Okay, so which way shall I go? Okay, that's the same map I showed earlier on. You are here, Adams Hill, Clent Village. I came from Walton Hill, down there, going back over Clent Hills, and to there somewhere. Okay, onwards and upwards, one step at a time. A young lady just pulled into a house just a few yards down there, just as I was looking to see those pubs and restaurants closed, and I asked her, could she be, well, I didn't say a good Samaritan, but she was a good Samaritan, filled up my water bottle, so I got half a litre now of water. Well, that should sort me out now for this, well, it is a good climb here, between 400 and 500 feet up to the so-called Four Stones. The original plan, based on the Vine pub being open, was go up through a wooded part of the Clent Hills up to the Four Stones. So this is unfortunately very little shade on this. It's way out in the open. Yeah. Bench up there, but two girls are sitting on it. So, but there is this bench here. It's in the sun. But beggars can't be choosers. Luckily, there's another bench hidden away in this pine grove here, which has been enclosed off. But there's a stile to gain access to it. Yeah, nice little bench here in the shade. Well, not in the full shade, but yeah. So I just took 5 minutes as a break and continue on. The gradient eased off a bit now, so after that 5-minute rejuvenation break, well, I think I'm all right now. But I've already been on this walk already over 3.5 hours. So, so considering, not too bad really. The girls are coming up, young girls. Coming up, continuing the ascent. They don't have any sun hats. I've got one of these Foreign Legionnaire desert caps on me. Protect the neck as well as the your bald pate, as you might say. It must be, well, youngsters, a lot of them are pretty fit. Okay, a gradual ascent now. It's quite still a way to go. Step at a time seems to do it. Here's 4 stones. About 20 feet of ascent left. Okay, 4 stones. Okay, summit attained. Could have been a lot worse. Yeah, put up by Lord Lyttelton back in the 18th century. Well, they're kind of replica prehistoric stones. Might have been a Druid's temple, the intention anyway. Original toposcope was erected in 1929 but refurbished in 1997. I won't bother to. And of course a lot of the trees have grown up since. Can't quite see the Malvern Hills, maybe just to peek a little bit of them. Alright, descent now back to the car. You probably can't pick it out in the haze, but the Malvern Hills are over there. As I say, it's an excellent viewpoint in clear weather. Generally when after a rainy day, descending down from the top. And that wooded hill opposite is the wooded slopes of Walton Hill. That's where I descended down earlier on, down to Clent Village. Okay, I've descended maybe a little over 100 feet to this point, and the footpath now continues, it's more or less shaded I think, back to the car park. It's the 5th of September, but I think that small tree ahead has turned colour. First sign of autumn colours. Coming to the end of this walk. The car's just maybe 100 yards down here. I forgot to take pictures of the four stones and the summit of Walton Hill, but I'll copy a picture from the internet. Slopes leading up to the ridgetop, mounted by beech trees, I think. It's visible for miles around. And here's the car park coming up here, so that's the end of this walk. I hope my car. It's always a slight worry when you leave your car for 4 or 5 hours. That it's it could be vandalised or broken into, but yeah, very small likelihood, but still there's always a chance. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching.